It's me, Breanna, and you are listening to That Time We Got Reincarnated as an Anime Podcast, episode 25. You can find us on youtube.com/Save the Game Media and podcast services. If you want to show Save the Game Media some extra love and get early access to all of our content, you can find us at patreon.com/Save the Game Media. We also do some exclusive content over there if you would like. Today I am joined by my co-host and friend, Kyle, before we get started on our Spoilercast. How are you today?
Was this
Spoilercast?
Spoilercast?
Living my best life.
Tired. Gotta go to the grocery store later. I don't know.
Buy more beans and tomatoes.
No. I've had enough tomatoes for a little bit. I'm gonna take a break.
Take a tomato break.
Take a tomato break.
I respect it.
Well, like an everyday tomato break, like I'll still have a tomato, like if it's on something.
Why would it just suddenly be on something?
I don't know. What if you order food that's got tomato on it?
Oh, you're ordering food in this scenario. Okay. Thought you were saying that like the tomato just shows up. I'm like, well, somebody's got to put it there.
Listen, I don't know nothing about no tomatoes, okay?
Listen.
How are you?
I think you eat too many tomatoes. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Had a decent weekend. It was my first weekend kind of off, relaxing, I guess I should say. And yeah, just been, what have we been doing, Luna? We watched a horror movie. We watched what was it called? The Deliverance. I'm asking her like she knows. She might, you know what? If she wasn't cleaning her butt right now, maybe she would be helpful.
She's just preoccupied.
Yeah. So we watched something called The Deliverance, and it was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It's on Netflix, but it had a weird, incredibly Christian turn at the end that I was like, whoa, that was too much for me. So yeah, it was, by the end of it, I would say kind of a meh movie.
Doesn't it say something that a lot of horror movies are focused around religion and faith and stuff?
Yeah, I do think it says something.
Looking at you, Conjuring, Exorcist, Nun.
I like The Conjuring a lot.
Oh, I like them. I'm just saying,
Enough.
She's not thrilled. That face.
She's sassy. She started making gross noises, and that's when she's done.
Yeah, that's what you think.
She's cleaning somewhere else now, which is fine. She just was. She starts making really wet noises, and that's when I get grossed out, and I say that's enough. We've had enough.
Yeah.
So she's fine to clean. It's just, anyways. So I watched that, and yes, there are a lot of Christianity-based horror movies. There's a new one coming out next month that's actually Mormon-based, and I really want to watch it. It looks really good.
That does sound scary.
The Mormons are scary. I can attest.
This is completely off topic. Did you ever see that one horror movie that's just about a swimming pool?
Mm-mm.
It was called Night Swim or something.
I've seen the music video where the kids get into the swimming pool and then get attacked and die.
Yeah. Well, they made a whole movie about it, and in my mind, I'm just like, all right, just don't go in the pool. What? I don't understand. How is this an issue?
Yeah, sometimes I do feel like I know that in order for the story to continue, people have to make poor decisions. But when people are like, "Who's in my house?" What are you gonna do?
Who's my house? Let's split up and find him.
I know, dude. I just barely recently got a book, a horror book called Let's Split Up, and I'm already I haven't read that one yet, but I know I'm gonna get mad. People just make poor decisions sometimes, but
especially in horror movies.
Mm-hmm. There's one movie, I cannot remember which one it is right now. I think it's The Calling. No, that's a video game. One Missed Call. That's the name of the movie. And they like go into this. Is my yarn in your way? They go into this like building that's like clearly like a haunted building, and she like looks at the building and she's like, "Man, that looks really haunted," and then she goes anyways. I'm like,
They deserve it. They're asking for it at that point.
yeah. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been up to. I finished Astrobot. Like, I have a couple of like trophies left to get the platinum, but it shouldn't take me more than like an hour. But I finished the game, so I finally bought and downloaded Silent Hill 2 because I really wanted to play that in the month of October. And I'm trying to finish that in the next like 2 weeks before Extra Life.
Cool.
Yeah. I also got a new nail set for Halloween. I'm really excited about it, you guys. They are Scooby-Doo. And it's really fun. That's what I've been up to.
Okay, cool. Cool.
So we have 2 questions today. Or I guess 2 things. One, we're going to be talking about what we've been watching. I haven't picked up anything else yet, but we can still talk about what we've been watching. And then 2, we're going to be doing, as you guys can tell from the title, the Oshinoko Spoilercast. We're going to be skipping the news today, just to warn you, because I'm sure we'll be yapping about Oshinoko for a while. So what have you been watching, Kyle?
So last episode, the first episode of Love Live Superstar hadn't aired over
I saw
here
that it
yet.
aired.
It finally aired at 9 p.m. Eastern time that night. I didn't know Crunchyroll put things up at 9 p.m. I thought they hit like a certain time and they're like, yeah, we're done for the day. And it seems like that's probably going to be the time, which sucks. But you know, is what it is. The first episode was enjoyable, mostly because I like the characters, but it went in a direction that I wasn't expecting. So we'll see. Hopefully they all solve all their issues soon. But then I picked up what is it? Nina the Starry Bride. Have you seen this one?
I've heard of it though, because we talked about it when we were doing our little review thing.
Yeah, so basically a princess dies. There's these 3 like poor kids. The one poor girl named Nina has like blue eyes and like hair that matches the dead princess. So like one of her friends sells her to the prince to basically be the new princess. But I mean, the prince is actually like a really nice guy and everything, and she's very funny. It's set like I don't even know how to describe the setting, but it's like long ago. It's like one of those more like not medieval, but because it feels like it's kind of set in like the Middle East, you know.
Okay.
But I like it. I like it so far. I've watched 2 episodes. I'm gonna keep watching it. And then I picked up the Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon King.
Okay.
I absolutely am already in love with the show. I think it's great. I think her facial expressions are just super funny, very well animated, very pretty. So like she gets executed because her fiance so she catches her fiance who proposed to her when she was like 14 or whatever. And they'd been engaged. She's like the daughter of like a noble. He's like the prince or whatever. But then she catches him and his sister, you know, doing what they shouldn't be doing. And then he
wait, him and his sister is an incest?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. And so then he, to cover that up, comes up with all these fake charges, and she's like a really like strong warrior, but they like corner her and she jumps off a building and then she gets speared through the stomach and dies. But then she like goes back in time to when she was 14, the night of when she got proposed to, and she like does everything to avoid like getting proposed to by this guy, obviously, because she remembers everything. So then he's like trying to track her down, and she just like, I'll take responsibility, but I gotta get out of this. So she just like finds the most random person behind her and is like, I'm engaged to this guy. I'm in love with him. And she hadn't seen him or anything, and it was the Dragon King of another nation. It was good. It's funny. The Dragon King is a huge dork. He immediately loses any like in the presence of like others. He's like super intimidating. But then when they're like alone, he does like, I don't know, silly things or like cries when she makes fun of him. It's great. I very enjoyed it. So those are the only three new things that I've been watching.
I remember us talking about that one too, and I remember saying I hate that trope, and I still hate that trope.
That trope is fine.
I hate it. Anyways, maybe I'll watch it. Who knows?
Enjoyable.
Okay, what have I been watching? Obviously, Don Don's episode 2 came out. One more episode, Kyle, and then you can watch it and be like, you'll come back and you'll start singing Otonoke.
Then I'll give it a shot. Oh, you know, this is completely off topic. You know what I heard the other day? So Nokotan's theme song?
Mm-hmm.
Someone auto-tuned Nokotan's voice, but they did it over that Kendrick Lamar song. And so it was like Nokotan singing like the diss track to Drake, and I'm like, this is great. This is fantastic.
That sounds crazy.
But yeah, that's my tangent. Yeah, one more episode and I'll give it a shot.
I think they come out on Thursday or Fridays.
Hopefully it goes better than the last time I did this.
I think you'll enjoy this. There's the comedy of the show is very, like, the comedy and the dialogue is very quick and witty. It's like one of those shows where they like the characters talk back and forth really quick, and you're like, it's really funny. There's specifically a character that I think you will not have a crush on, but I think you'll enjoy. And I think you'll be like weirded out by them, but like also enjoy them. The opening's amazing. I don't know. It's really fun. I really do love this show, so I hope you enjoy it. What else? Okay. I have finally taken the plunge into ReZero season 3.
Yeah.
We watched a recap of season 1 and season 2 since my dad was like, I don't know what happened. And so we had to watch like videos for both.
Did you watch the first episode of season 3?
Just the first episode, not the second one yet.
Yeah.
So we just watched the first episode, which is 90 minutes.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it. I would say like it was like 99% just like not much, like not that there was nothing going on. It was 99% like really fun, cute, witty. And then they kind of set up a couple of the storylines.
But right? in the back of your mind, you're like, I know something's coming. I'm just waiting.
Literally that, and I was like, where's the reset point, guys? Look out for the reset point. Just waiting, because I actually, where the reset point is, it was not what I was expecting, to be honest with you. I thought he would reset all the way back to like when they arrived in the city.
Well, that'd be a long time.
Sometimes the resets are really long. You know this.
Yeah. So in episode 2, you do get the opening for the first time, and maybe the last time, depending on
on what they do.
It's great. It's fantastic. It might be my favorite opening that they've done.
Really? Above season 1?
Yeah, I really like it. tell me how much you enjoy Subaru and Beatrice's great new dynamic, because they are just the best.
I do really enjoy it. I enjoy that he isn't playing into, like, I was really worried that it was gonna go like the weird gross like Lolly Baba kind of thing, but he like won't play into it at all. He's just like, oh, I just like, he's like really, he's so kind to her and like is clearly like doting on her in like a loving and affectionate way.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's such a wholesome, cute way that like it didn't gross me out at all, which I was really appreciative of.
Yeah, no, I don't think, like, none of their interactions come across in any way that it's like romantic. It's like a oh, you're so cute, I'm gonna dote on you kind of thing, and
Yeah,
we're like
and
we're like best friends.
the one time it does happen, he kind of dismisses it almost immediately and is like, "No." Like,
Or what is it, when he's walking with her and then the other girl that's obsessed with Garth, and then
Mimi,
so yeah, then so she's great, by the way. I absolutely
dude,
loved her and Garth. They were great.
yeah, him like walking holding their hands was so freaking cute.
Um, yeah, no, it's so good. I'm so glad ReZero's back.
I am too. I love all of the characters. I can't wait to see. Okay, the whole time I was like yelling, like, how does he not know where Garfield is? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Garfield's been gone for a long time. I don't know.
Garth can
I
handle
was,
himself.
yeah, can he?
How
Anyways,
how disturbing is, I mean, all the witches cult people are disturbing, but man,
the
how
Archbishop.
disturbing was Wrath.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
like this
I
is
can't
dark.
remember who, like, I guess, no, I'm not going to count it spoilers. It was incredibly dark, especially when like she went on the monologue about like the friend. She was like, I don't know if I was going to use you or your friend, and like all
Yeah.
that craziness. Um yeah, that was crazy. But who is the white-haired guy an archbishop of? I cannot remember. Do you remember?
Um,
Cuz Gluttony is the weird person that
Greed.
looks. Greed, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, God, I cannot remember who this is. Like I cannot.
There's
I knew who it was. Sorry, I couldn't remember which.
yeah. There's a moment in episode 2, uh, where I like popped off. I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know when this happened, but let's go. It's fantastic. It's been nonstop. I loved every second of it. Can't wait for more. But yeah.
So I've now kind of determined that I think and I have wanted to for a long time, but I'm getting a little bit more serious about actually reading the light novels for this series. Just because I feel like I want more information and I know the books will have more information.
Yeah.
What's going on over there, you guys? The order is a mess. Genuinely and truly, the reading order for ReZero is crazy. Like, there is a bunch of volumes of the light. There's 39 volumes
Yeah.
of the light novel. On top of that, there's two different spin-off series, and they have different sets of like light novels. And then on top of that, there's like the short one that's like Emilia's like history. There's a bunch of crazy stuff. It is genuinely a mess to the point where I like spent probably 30 minutes last night trying to figure out what the reading order is. And I finally found a random document that somebody had made in Google Docs that was like, here's a document that helps you get through like the whole series. And it's like, I think like a 10-page document or something like that because it's so messy.
When in doubt, just buy everything, and then
I want to buy everything, but I'm like, okay, so I have everything, and then what? What one do I read first? You know? So it got to the point where I was almost doing that. I'll just buy everything and read it, and then like if it's in the wrong order, it's in the wrong order, kind of thing.
kind of
You know?
piecemeal it together.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's messy. It's bad. Anyways, I watched the second episode for. What is the marriage one? 365 Days to the Wedding, which
Oh,
is
yep.
not the Japanese name, by the way, you guys.
No,
In
sure
case
isn't.
anybody was wondering. Oh,
I think it gets the point across though.
Does it? 結婚するって本当ですか?
I think it gets the idea of what the show is somewhat about.
It gets the idea of the show across, but the name is completely different. Like it's like
Yeah.
are you really getting married or something like that? I mean, anyways, so I watched the second episode of that. It's really cute. I'm enjoying their romance, not romance. I found Ranma one half. I don't know how I lost it, but like I was like, where the heck is this airing? It's on Netflix, you guys.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching that too. I haven't yet, but yeah. I watched a couple more episodes of My Hero Academia. That's what I was watching.
Okay. I finished that.
Yeah.
Season
Is it
7's
done?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Well, season 7. They announced the
Yeah.
final season afterwards.
Oh, is it only going to be 8 seasons?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it would be 9. I don't know why.
No. Next season's the last one.
Does it end on
God.
a huge? Does it end on a huge cliffhanger?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, it like ends in the middle of something, I guess, but it's not really like a cliffhanger.
Okay.
It's just like, oh, okay, we're just gonna continue from here then. Like,
did they say when it's coming?
they just said 2025.
Okay, that's fine. As long as we have a general time frame. You know, I was thinking about My Hero Academia, and I almost wonder, like, okay, so you know how they did, like, obviously, like Naruto and Boruto and stuff, and it's not to say that I think that the kids, like the MHA kids would like have their own kids, and they would do that future jump.
Please
but
don't do this.
If the author were to write more My Hero, what do you think would happen? Like, what do you think it would be?
Maybe them as adults, like being professional heroes.
God, do you know how happy that would make me?
I'd be more okay with that than a time jump with their kids.
Yeah. I would love if they did a time jump to them as adults, as professional heroes. But
having said that, don't do any of it. Leave it alone. Things need to end.
Do they?
Yes, they do. End it.
ReZero is not going to end for a very long time, in case anybody was wondering. We've only made it through 14, 15 volumes in the 2 seasons, and there's 39.
Yeah.
Not including the side content.
Don't worry, we'll get there. One season.
Oh, and it's not done.
3 years.
Yeah, we're never gonna finish this show. But I'm having a great time with it. Oh, have you watched Blue Box?
Blue Box?
Blue Box, thank you.
No, I haven't.
I've been looking at that one too.
It looks pretty.
It does. It does. Okay. Not to be confused with Blue Lock. Wildly different.
Which I did watch. It does not look that pretty. There's some bad animation so far.
Oh no.
It's been like slideshow sometimes. It's been rough.
Love that for us.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, have you been watching Blue Exorcist as well?
Yeah.
That good?
Unfortunately.
You're just loving it?
I just realized that I don't like most of the characters in this show.
Even from like the original season?
These series go on too long.
I think the problem is, genuinely, I think this is specifically an anime industry issue. In that they find a manga that is really popular that they want to adapt immediately, rather than one, waiting to see how the story ends to see if people even like the story, or two, waiting for enough content for there to be like space to make more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like just leave it, you know? Like Dandadan has, you know, quite a few volumes, and they'll probably have an issue where they have to wait a year or two, but there's enough volumes there that it's like, you know, they should be okay. I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know. We'll see.
waiting years and years for this, or like Blue Exorcist, like started way before the manga had even enough content for them to do a full season of anime. Hence why there was that whole issue with the Kyoto arc and like all of that stuff, right? Because they just like made stuff up.
Episode 19 onwards in the season 1 is all filler. It's all anime original. And then they came back with a new season and they're like, hey, just ignore that happened. Like that, pretend it ended at episode like 18 and then this started.
Yep.
And like, it doesn't help that you waited like a decade.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like they messed up by like animating that season before they even had enough content to animate that season, let alone content for a next season. So it's like I think that they're just people are too gung-ho about buying the rights and animating it immediately. You know?
Yeah.
I think it might be a good idea for the industry to purchase the rights to create an anime and then wait. Like make some sort of deal that's like, hey, when this is like, you know, two volumes from being finished, you know, we'll start animating them or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like a really easy fix, but
it does.
You know. All right. Well, you guys, we have something to talk about today. Something very important.
What is it?
Nokotan. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to be talking about Oshinoko, season 2 spoiler cast. Briefly before we get into spoilers, do you, Kyle, recommend people watch Oshinoko in general / season 2?
Yes, absolutely. If you're not watching it, I think I honestly I don't know what you're doing. You're wasting your time.
What are you doing with your time?
Go watch it. I saw someone today complain about episode 1 of season 1, and they're like, I can't believe I watched this first episode, and they only described like the first like 20 minutes, and every comment was, you didn't even finish the episode. So, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. I'm like, the first episode is like 90 minutes long.
One of the best, like,
one of the best first
content.
Episodes ever.
Yeah.
Yes, I do absolutely recommend it. It's fantastic. What about you?
You know, I would say I definitely recommend it. I think that if you are on the fence, a couple of things. One, just watch the first episode. If that doesn't convince you, not much will. Two, if you're like, if you made it through episode 1 and you're like, this is a different vibe now, the first season is good, but you will need to make it to the second season for it to kind of come back to that first episode. So I think if you give it some time and space to breathe, to set things up, to let it pull you along the story, you will be rewarded for your efforts.
Learn the characters, get invested in them.
Mm-hmm.
And then be ready for sadness. Are you gonna sneeze?
No, my nose is like all of a sudden like runny, and I don't know why, and it's driving me crazy. So.
All right. So you ready to get into spoilers?
Yeah, that was our recommendation. Let's get into spoilers.
Okay. So first, season 2 covers volumes 5 through 8 of the manga. That's chapters 41 through 80.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to read it or is wondering, that's how much it covered. Season 1 covered 1 through 40. We're pretty consistent so far. It's pretty great. And the manga ends in 4 chapters. So, anyways, yeah, so it starts with the preview of like the play, kind of like a, the flash forward or whatever. And I think the visuals are absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic, just gorgeous visuals. I mean, the show is gorgeous throughout, but especially during the play, I think is when you see like the really like most gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, it feels like they put like a lot of time and like budget into that first part. And I think there's also a lot of really interesting animations that I can honestly say I've never seen an anime showing a stage play based off of a manga.
In a manga.
In a manga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Um,
so I think that it was really interesting. I thought they had a lot of really cool special effects stuff. Well, what would be special effects in their world, but it's just like obviously cool animation in our world is what I mean. But
well, what was interesting is like sometimes it would just be like the cool animation, like during the stage play when Aqua and Himikawa were fighting, and
mhm.
like there was like the flames or like lightning or whatever. But then other times it would like cut to like a side angle, you'd see them like dangling from wires when they were jumping and stuff. And I was like, okay, I like it's doing a good job of like showing you like as the viewer the perspective, but then
Mhm.
also like what they're actually doing.
Mhm.
Um, so I thought that was really good. Um, so we also get a fast forward to Ruby talking to Eye's grave.
Mhm.
Ruby's not in, or she's in a small part of the first like
Yeah, the
I
very
don't
end
know
of the
9
season.
episodes of the season.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, so it definitely focuses more on Aqua, Akane, and Kana,
Mhm.
which is what it set up at the end of last season, anyways. And I was totally here for it. I love all those characters. And they did add some Ruby scenes every now and then, and the moments where she was there, I thought were great. I thought she was very funny, like when they went to visit the Aqua at the theater or whatever.
Yeah,
And then
people
she
were
came
flirting
back.
with her.
And then she came back and she's like, "Yeah, this guy gave me his number." And then they're like, "He's a player." And then Kana's like, "I'm gonna block him." And she just seems like so naive about it. And
Mhm.
I'm just like, Ruby, I'm like, how are you? I'm like, how can you be so naive about this?
Yeah.
But
I think
yeah,
that like I don't know. I think that like specifically like focusing on her story arc throughout the first and second season is that her opportunity is that she's been reborn. She has this new body that can do the things that she's always wanted to do. She was reborn to not just anybody, but like her idol that she was so obsessed with and has this opportunity to study under her to try and become like her um and I think that she is when she was when she died the first time, she was obviously very young, very naive, and she never kind of made it into adulthood. And beyond that, she didn't really get to experience much life because of her illness.
yeah,
And so now with even with her do-over, she still doesn't have like a lot of experience because her and Aqua are kind of hidden away from the world. And even when they finally start going to like a regular school and stuff like that, it's still a specialty school. So she's really still not getting like the regular, like everyday kind of person experience, which is fine, but it explains like a lot of her naivety. Um, and I think that she's just so excited to have received like this second chance at life, to do something that not just to have like a second chance of life, but like to have a second chance and also be pursuing her dreams.
I
So
yeah,
I think that that kind of colors her outlook on life, obviously until the very end of this season when she realizes that
we'll
there's
get
more
there.
going on. Right, but, like, I think up until that point, I think that that's why she's so naive that she's not and I think that's also why she's not shown a lot, not because, like, she's not important to the plot, but because there's not much to say about her yet, right? Because she's just living her life, like, she's just having a good time, you know?
Yeah. Um, yeah, so the first arc is the 2.5D stage play arc. Um, and I like jotted down like some notes that I thought were like the big things that they touched upon in this arc. I mean, the stage play itself is fine. It's great. It's very enjoyable. But I think the biggest thing was Aqua's like trauma over Ai dying and how he still, can't accept the fact that he should be allowed to like pursue his dreams or be happy because he blames himself. But then also his kind of like growing in his relationship with Akane to where he like tells her straight up, like, I'm in this to like kill someone. And then, she said she'll help him. And I love their dynamic during that whole section where they're talking about how he can do emotional acting, why it's so hard for him. The director telling him that he like always suspected that he was Ai's kid, even though he's never like said it or whatever.
Yeah.
But then,
and I mean, does the news release for her death even say that it was like her, like, because it doesn't even talk about her kids at all.
no,
Nobody knows that she had kids. So
yes,
it's
no.
like they don't even report that like he
Well,
was the one with her.
Ai's last name wasn't said either.
No.
So, as far as everyone else knows, they're just the kids of the manager.
Yeah, and
basically.
I guess the point that I'm making is more that like it, even with the knowledge that like, oh, this is like, this is Hoshino Ai's kid, it still doesn't like get into the fact that he was there when she died. He like watched her die.
Yeah, which I think is different. Which is a different trauma than like what Ruby had, where Ruby's on the other side of the door and not seeing it directly. Yeah. Like he's covered in blood, like holding his dead mother.
Yeah.
And you get that scene that is pretty tough, where Kana, is trying to like teach him how to do emotional acting, and she's like, just pretend like someone killed your mother. And then he has like the whole mental breakdown. And so I don't know, it's interesting to see more of that side of him as opposed to like the more calm, calculated, like cool Aqua.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The other thing that I think is really interesting is that there's like, I feel like there's so many layers to this issue as well as like his grief, right? Because if we're just focusing in on Aqua, like not only did he die, but before his death, like he had that like the patient, right, who is obsessed
Breanna.
with Ai, right? And like, and so
She
he
died.
already was obsessed with Ai because of this patient that he was so fond of. And so he had already built up this obsession with Ai, already meant so much to him because of his connection with her. And then he dies, comes back, is her kid, lives with her, knows what it's like to be loved by her in the way that she can love him. And then she dies, like while he's watching. Like it's so layered. It's not just like, hey, he's a kid. Because it's different if it's like, hey, it's a kid that watched their parents die. Like that's already traumatizing.
Yeah.
But to have all of this extra stuff that's like, hey, the same person that killed me killed her, like all of this stuff,
Yeah, it's rough. But I think it does well to drive the narrative forward until in Aqua's case it comes to a screeching halt when he talks to Taki Himakawa about how they both have the same father. And we've talked about this, how
I was so stupid.
You didn't catch it the first time. Akane catches it when they talk about it. But that he assumes that their father, like his father, cheated on his mother with Ai. That's what he's assuming. And then Akane figures out that no, like you're missing the obvious thing. Like there's a time gap that doesn't line up. Like with the ages doesn't line up. And then two, like the mom could have been cheating on the dad with your dad, who also was sleeping with I.
Dude, and when you see the dad too, it's so obvious that it's his dad. You know, like, but it's like it is so obvious, and that's exactly why he looks the way he looks, you know? Where it's like you can tell.
So
I don't know.
So in the last episode, I did say the name of the dad. They announced it in the casting for season 3.
Okay.
Which is Hikaru Kamaki. And yeah, you do see him. You see him twice. You see him when Ruby's leaving the grave, and he says how beautiful she looks because she's their daughter.
Uh-huh.
And then you see him at the end of the season standing over someone he's just killed.
Yes.
And I can't really go more into him without spoiling a bunch of stuff. But I was surprised that they, one, announced his name, two, put that scene like at the end of the season, I guess. I mean, I think it drives intrigue, and I think it makes people more interested. So I think it's cool. But yeah, so you finally get to see their dad. Dark black star eyes and all.
So let me know if I'm wrong on this read, but like the black, from what I understood and interpreted through his eyes as well as the kids, is it's like a murderous intent, right? That's like what the dark is supposed to be.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be murderous intent. It's like negative, like overwhelming a feeling.
Okay.
Like that's what they're pursuing. Whereas before you would see in Ruby's eyes like the bright shining star.
Right.
Same with Aqua, except when he went into like his emotional state or anything that was like a negative emotion for him.
Yes.
But then even after his conversation, when he thinks his dad's dead, then his stars go away because he's kind of lost his like purpose, doesn't know like what he's exactly like going for.
Yeah.
I
will say I'm a little bit like kind of talking about his purpose. I think we're just kind of jumping around or whatever, but
yeah,
I'm a little confused how he's like, oh, my purpose now is to protect you. Like with Akane, but like
it's because she did so much for him that I think he feels like that responsibility.
Like he feels indebted to her. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. I'm more mean like, what is he protecting her from? Like,
well, I think he knows how dark and cruel the entertainment industry is.
Okay.
Same way he would pretend to be talent agents for Ruby so that no one would recruit her or whatever. You know, he does what he does to protect them.
Yeah. Do you think she'll
how
join?
Did you?
Oh wait, you might actually know the answer to this. I was gonna say, do you think she'll join Biyukomachi? And I'm just like, I guess, kind of wondering.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna answer.
I know. Let's keep going.
How did you feel about them becoming like an official like couple?
I felt weird about the way it started, in that like I feel weird
before
about
the trip they were about to break up.
No, not that. Not that. I think that like I do think he actually likes her, but I'm concerned about it because it feels weird. How do I want to phrase this? It's weird to me that his preface to dating her is, I want to protect her, rather than he just wants to be with her. You know? So I think he does like her. But a weird preface to dating, and on top of that, his mission isn't even over. even though he doesn't know it yet.
Yeah,
Like,
he doesn't know
he's
that
gonna
yet.
drop her. You know, I don't know.
Um,
I think she deserves better than that.
yeah,
Those
I
are
see
my
where you're
feelings.
coming from.
How do you
Uh,
feel, Mister
I can't
Mister
say how I feel.
Mister Kana?
um, my girl took a lot of L's this season. um, she, I will say, I loved that they gave her like a standout moment in the stage play where she like
Mm-hmm.
finally accepts, that the actress that she is and how she actually wants to be. Um, I thought, I think this moment and the last season moment where they're performing on stage and she wants to just be like the Aqua's idol or whatever. I think those are two huge moments for her, and I thought they did this one brilliantly. Obviously, I loved the date that they went on. They actually rearranged it. So originally, when Kana suggests the idea, Aqua says he's got a date with Akane tomorrow, so he can't, and then they have to reschedule. But this time he just said he was like free, and they just did that date first, and then he went to see Akane. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm like, she didn't have to take that L, I guess. But then in the bath, where they're talking, and she's like, "Isn't it time you end the like work relationship?" And she's like, "It's not just for work anymore." Um, I don't know. I feel so bad for her. I'm like, no.
My dad was saying, he was like, well, maybe she thinks that like they broke up, and I was like, no, based on the way that she like phrased it, and that it's like it's
And the
no
look on her
longer for
face.
work. Yeah,
Yeah, no, she doesn't think they broke up. She is well aware of.
yeah,
Um,
that's what I figured.
but yeah, uh, I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole bunch to talk about Kana right now in this arc.
I will
She had a
say,
few standout.
I think it's interesting that they present the idea that like even if Aqua wanted to date her, he really couldn't, right?
Because she's an idol.
Because she's an idol.
Yeah.
And so
Um.
that would put her in the same exact situation that his mom had died from.
Yeah.
So like he can't.
God,
Literally
I want to say
can't.
so many things. Yes. Yeah. I'm
Thank
with you.
God we're both not caught up on the manga, huh? So that way there's
Yeah.
still
Thank God.
conversation to be had.
Um. But anyways, so on that trip where they're supposed to be shooting B Kamachi's like music videos.
Good
Um.
song, by the way.
I was just gonna ask, what did you think of the "Poppin' 2" by V Komachi?
I thought
It
it was
was
really
the
cute.
actual VA singing it, which I thought
Oh,
was
really?
yeah, I thought was very
I didn't
well
catch
done.
that. Yeah, I really enjoyed the song. It felt very very K-poppy, like modern K-poppy. I thought it was
Yeah,
good.
I liked it. Uh,
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if like you look at the credits of the song and it's like it was like written by a K-pop writer or something like that, you know.
yeah, I thought that was one of those cool additions because obviously they can't do stuff like that in the manga. They can just tell you like, "Hey, we shot a new music video for a song or whatever."
And then show like a
Um,
couple of the frames from the music video
yeah,
and that's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I thought this was really cool that they took the time to do that. Um, they went back to Miyazaki where Serena and Goro died, and that goes into the next arc, which
Okay,
I think is
and I am so lost by this little kid.
Tsukuyomi,
Sure.
girl, white hair, crows.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tsukuyomi.
Yeah, I'm
Not a
very
not a spoiler.
lost.
They announced her name as well.
I'm very lost on that. Let me tell you what my dad had said. He thinks that's actually a kid and that it's I reincarnated. My thoughts on that was that if it really was I reincarnated, she wouldn't have treated Ruby like that. Because even though she like had a hard time like expressing her love, she did still love her kids, and I think she would have treated Ruby a lot more kindly, you know,
Yeah.
than the
Uh-huh.
way that like Tsukiyomi was treating Ruby in that whole interaction. On top of
Yeah.
that, I don't think it's actually a little kid. I think it's like some sort of weird supernatural thing and not just like a little kid walking around.
Tsukiyomi's her own character. Okay.
Okay.
Like, so,
Okay.
but you'll learn more about her coming up. Honestly, some people hate her. I don't hate her that much. I don't know. I like her whole vibe she's got going on, kind of creepy. But yeah, no, she talks to Aqua on the roof, right?
Yes.
Yeah, roof of the hospital. That's their first interaction. Then him and Akane go to Goro, his former house. He constantly is dropping hints. I'm not really sure how she's, a master detective. It can't piece it together that, oh, hey, he said he believes in reincarnation and now all this stuff. But then what? Then Ruby, who's got the biggest girl crush on Agane, which is great. Very cute. She gets her key stolen, and then the crows lead her to the dead body. And then, well, actually, on the way there, she admits that she was like in love with him and all this, and they have a whole conversation about that.
Yeah, she's like, how big of an age gap is
how big of an age?
I'm like, I don't know. He would be like what, like 40 years older than you?
Like, well, let's say he was like, I don't know when he died, when he was like 28, 30. And then they died, and then they're 16.
And then there was a time, no, because there was a time gap there too, where like he was still around after she died for a while. I don't know how long that time gap was.
Not a super. It wasn't long enough to where it was
okay.
Like,
so let's just say he's 30 plus the 16. That's 46.
Yeah, it's big.
46
it's big.
to 16. That's a 30-year age gap. That's crazy, Ruby. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, Ruby and Akane were like, it's fine, whatever. Girls,
Yeah, that's sure.
Teenage girls,
Sure.
But no, they find his dead body. Ruby recognizes it because of the pendant, the eye like pendant that she gave him when she was Serena. She has a very dark emotional turn. And then in one of the best shot, like directed wise, but like also low key scenes is the conversation when they're lying on the futons. And Ruby asks Akane why Aqua got into like show business or whatever, and she lies. But Ruby like pieces it all together.
Yeah.
And then you see in the music video, like the director is like, Ruby's pretty, but there's nothing that like draws you to her or whatever. And then you get the black stars for her, which are very.
How is Aqua not noticing his sister like turning to the dark side? I don't know. I feel like he should be paying attention to her more.
Yeah. So that she's the director is like captivated by her because of how she's acting then. And this all is going to lead into the next arc. So
yeah, so I just want to make sure, like without spoiling, I guess I'm just trying to check like where Akane is at, right? Because she has both pieces where she watched Aqua go through this, realizes that his dad's not actually dead, even though he thinks he is. Realizes that Ruby now knows and is trying to put her off the scent a little bit. But like, does she realize that they're like kind of now after the same goals?
No, she doesn't realize that Ruby wants revenge or anything. She lied to protect Aqua's secret.
Mm-hmm.
She is not onto Ruby in that way.
Okay.
But then
But
you
she
get
doesn't realize that he's been reincarnated. Like she doesn't realize that that's his dead body.
No.
Okay.
No. But then you get the stinger.
Does she have enough? Does she have enough to put together? Like, I don't know, because the thing is it's like, how could she have possibly met this person? I don't know. Like, I feel like Akane like has like just enough of the pieces to try and put together that they were both reincarnated and that they were in love with each other and now they're siblings. I don't know. Like the pieces are like right there.
I don't think she has quite that much at this point. She definitely has enough to where she should be like, "Hey, Aqua, were you this guy who died? We went to his house. We went to his work. You mentioned that you were close to him. You mentioned you believe in reincarnation."
There has to be a moment where they're like, "Oh, this person actually died before they were born. So how would she know him?" You know? There has to be that moment at some point. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where the season ends for them. You get that little like stinger of them setting up like the next season of like, this is, they're going full speed into like the entertainment industry or whatever. Especially Ruby. So, that'll be there. I'm very interested to see how people react to some of the things coming up. And then you get the comic-y scene of him standing over the dead girl. Well, dying girl, watching the life fade from her eyes. Yeah.
Do we know who that is or not yet? Like the dead person?
No, you don't.
Okay. I was gonna say, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like missing a connection.
Man, I can't wait until we can talk about Kamiki more.
Yeah.
And just talk about how I hate him. I hate his guts. I hate everything about him.
He's very handsome.
You know what? Spoiler, Akane thinks the same thing.
Oh no. She's like, this is so weird. He kind of looks like my boyfriend.
Are you sure you haven't read the manga?
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No. He's very handsome though.
No, yeah.
He's crazy.
But yeah, no, I think it's great. What did you think of the opening song? Really?
Yeah, it was good, not great. I don't know. That first opening, like, what are we supposed to do after that?
Yeah, well, I think they did the best they could, because you're never gonna top Idol, I don't think. But I thought that this did a pretty good job, like encapsulating the like vibe of the season at least.
I think it did. I think, to be very clear, I think it was a good song. I just don't think it was like the best I've ever heard,
The song that I think actually a lot of people ignored because they didn't quite understand like why it was there was the ending where Ruby is, it's more like sad and dark or whatever, and Ruby's like running through the like darkness and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm surprised you guys put this like right here when you're not gonna get to Ruby's dark phase until the end of the season.
Yeah, I honestly didn't catch that, but that is kind of crazy. Spoilers, you guys.
Spoilers.
Do we know when the third season is coming?
Next year.
Okay.
Probably. Hopefully. I
hope they kind of keep going at this pace. I'm okay with just like the 12 episodes per year or whatever.
If they do 40 chapters next season, I'm trying to think of where that would end us. Yeah, you could do that. Maybe a little bit more than 40 for the next 2 seasons, and then you could probably be done. I think. I think that would round it out. Having said that, if you want to do one super long season, that's cool with me too.
I'm so sorry. I know I've asked before. The manga is done?
In 4 chapters.
Okay. We just talked about this. I know. I'm sorry.
It will be done soon. I've accepted as I've read more and thought about it more, that I might be a little biased towards one of the characters in the series. I might have a little bit of bias.
Just a little?
Just a little. Man, I can't wait. She's got some great stuff coming up.
So how many chapters will there be total?
Oh. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Like,
I haven't read all the latest stuff. So
yeah.
Let's look. The internet, man, what a handy tool.
It's something.
All right, so is that it? That is volume 16. If this is up to date, 162
total, which would mean 4 seasons. That sounds right.
Yeah, because they're doing 40 chapters a season. So 2 seasons, they've got 80. So if they can squeeze 41 chapters into each of the next 2, they'll be good.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So, but I've blocked a lot of stuff because people like to post spoilers, and I don't want to see spoilers.
Oh yeah,
I've already been spoiling enough.
Trust me, I have known so many spoilers for My Hero Academia. It's not even funny at this point.
Can you believe Deku's dead?
I can't believe that they just posted to like rest in peace to this character on Crunchyroll's Instagram page. I was like, this is the wildest thing. Are you kidding me?
Well, before we end this episode, I can't believe that you were like, oh, I didn't know. You texted me the other day. Oh, I didn't know this hero died. I didn't know this hero died. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Like the ones that like I don't know.
Well, they're being a death. I'm like, what are you? I'm like,
okay. That's not even fair. Like I had an idea that what's his face died. I'm not even gonna spoil it. I had an idea that somebody died, but I wasn't confident. And then the other person I had no idea was dead. Like had like zero idea. And then they were like the episode, the way they presented it is they're like, yeah, kind of sucks. These people died. And then there's this other stuff going on and they just like go right past it. I was like, hello?
We ain't got time for this.
Wait, come back. They what? So wasn't happy about that. But, all right. Do we have anything else hold on, let me think. I feel like there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I was gonna say, I think it'll be interesting to see the way that Ruby's trauma manifests, because I think we really haven't seen any of her trauma at all until like that very last piece. And I don't even think that was trauma. I think that was the shock of realizing that somebody she wanted to meet so badly is now dead. And that she has a purpose and she has things to do now, right? So I think that that's more like, I think that that's more interesting in like, or like that's what they're trying to present. But we also know that she has to have trauma from the same thing that Aqua does, like in obviously a different way. Like you said, she was on the other side of the door, but she still was like born to her idol. She was the one that originally loved Ai so much. And, I think it'll be interesting to see how her trauma manifests.
Agreed.
What else do I want to talk about? I think that Akane has an ulterior motive in all of this. Wow, I don't necessarily trust her.
Wow, that's so rude.
I love her, but I don't necessarily trust her 100%.
Can't she just
I don't think it'll be something that's like it's like world crushing, but I think that she's like I think there's something else going on here
can't she just
on
love her
end.
boyfriend?
No.
Wow. Maybe you got trust issues.
I do have trust issues. I have
Can't
never
she
hidden this.
just let her love her boyfriend and at the same time play Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah. I don't know. I really love her character. It's not that I dislike her character, but I do think that her initial approach of Aqua, like, or in somewhere along the way, she has some sort of ulterior motive. So we'll see.
I just still to this day wonder how she grew her hair out so fast, you know?
That is, you know what? I need her to share her secrets with me because I would also like to grow my hair out that fast.
Having said that, long hair, Akane over short hair. She looks
I
much better with the
agree.
long
I
hair.
agree.
Yeah.
You know what? I was told at my high school reunion, just have a baby and your hair will grow really long, really fast. So maybe that's what happened.
Maybe Aqua and her had a baby.
Yeah. And Aqua doesn't
Ruby
know.
said she'd kill him though.
Yeah.
Oh, can we just with the one a super that funny moment when Aqua didn't like come home from like the after party and Kana and Ruby were giving her like the third degree. They're like, where were you? What were you doing? She's like, oh,
Yep.
just boy bonding. That's cool. And Kana's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. It was good. I think there's a lot of fun moments. It's really interesting how this show kind of or I guess this story balances some like really fun and silly moments with some like really dark moments. You know? It's interesting.
Yeah, it's great.
Still, would you just a question for you? Would you say that Oshinoko is in your top anime of all time? Maybe not number one, but like upper
You know, like a
echelon.
top 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, absolutely. I'd say that in free run joined the top.
Oh
In
yeah,
the
free
last
run.
year.
Like literally, I was talking to my friend and I was like, "Oh, you have to watch free run, whatever." I like spent like this is if there's a religion for free run, I am part of the religion and I'm spreading the gospel. I do everything I can to get as many people to watch free run as possible. I they asked me afterwards, so I gave them this long spiel about how much I love free run, blah blah blah, and then they go right after they go, "So, what would you say is your favorite anime of all time right now?" And I was like, "Hello, free run." Did you not just hear me? But yeah, I was thinking about it, and I really think that as of right now, I think that free run is probably my favorite anime.
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh, see, it's hard. Like K-On, I think might always still just be number one.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I get let's see how season 2 gets adapted.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is that like I think that there are other anime that I absolutely love. Like ReZero being one of them, Fruits Basket being one of them. I think that you could probably like depending on the day that you catch me, might catch me saying that Fruits Basket is my favorite anime. But I think that Free Run is it's just so incredibly special from every single piece of production, like the animation, the art style, the story, the music, the voice acting. Like there is not a single
The
piece.
facial expressions.
There is not a single piece of that anime that is not perfect in my mind.
I listen to the theme song all the time.
Like the Yusha whatever. What is it? The Brave something?
No, the one by Yosobi.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one.
Something Yusha, which just means hero, but yeah. I love that song. I don't listen to that one very often, but I listen to the soundtrack almost daily. Not the full thing, but it's in like the entire soundtrack besides like 2 tracks is in like my library, and the only reason the 2 tracks are not in my library is because they're like a little bit too exciting. And I can't, like, they're too like dark and exciting, and like I can't just like listen to them out of
You're
context
just like,
of
I'm
the
getting
show.
pumped up.
No, it's more of like, it's like one of those like evil themes where it's like they're fighting and it's like really dark kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it, but the playlist I have for soundtracks is for reading and writing, and it does not get along with the vibes of reading or writing. So yeah. All
Yeah, I can
right.
see that.
Anything you want to add to your simp list? I think you already have Kana on there.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I was thinking about moving her up. It's just, it's so hard to justify right now.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to move her above any of these people?
I don't know.
It's not going to go above Hu Tao. I can't believe she's above Free Ren, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that one was hard, but
we have to make decisions sometimes.
Sometimes we just got to make decisions. We got to accept the truth,
Yeah.
I'd say if I could put them tied, I probably would.
Okay, I'm not going to do that, but
just because Free Ren's got the whole elf twin-tailed light, white hair thing going on.
She's so cool. I don't know how.
She's so cool.
Anyways, well, if you've made it this far, let us know what your thoughts on Oshinoko Season 2 are. You can hang out in the Discord and let us know there, or you can leave a comment.
Are you Team Akane or Team Kana? Or Team Ruby? Or Team Memcho? No one gives Memcho enough appreciation.
I like Memcho, but when you say team, it makes it sound like Aqua might date any one of those 4 people, and I don't want him to date Ruby.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna be like, I don't want him to date Memcho, and I was like, wow, that's rude. And you were like,
no, I don't care about that.
Oh, okay.
What I do care about is maybe getting some of the incest out of anime, maybe limiting it a little bit.
All right, fine. We'll just stick with the 2, Akane or Kana.
Okay.
Or if you're into Memcho, you can do your own thing.
Yeah, this is the modern day Edward versus Jacob.
Except no one's. Well, I guess they are sparkling sometimes.
Yeah, they are. Their eyes are. Yeah. All right. Well, let us know what team you are, and we all know what Kyle's team is. And yeah, we will see you guys next week. We will most likely do the it feels like there's enough of the season by next week that we'll talk about what
Dropper
to watch / drop for the season. Does that sound right? Or should we wait one more week?
No, that'll be good.
Good. Okay, cool. We'll do that then. And we will see you guys next week when that happens. Patreon list. I was like, there's something.
I was gonna say, did you do things?
Thank you guys so much for taking the time to hang out with us today. I do want to give a special shout out to our current patrons. We have Alpaca Tom, Fabulous Breanna, Breanna's mom, Breanna's brother, Lindsay, Nicolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, David Hotwright, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Lee Navarro, Silicana, Ellery with Parker III, Shelby, Chad, Rick Davis. Kyle, where can people find you?
Nowhere. I need a break from everybody.
Not me. We're besties. He never needs a break from me. You can find me at Fabulous Breanna, FABULASTBREANNA. You can find everybody at Save the Game Media or Save Game Media on Twitter /X. Please join our Patreon. We're trying to expand the reincarnation. So come join our nation. We do allow people to hit other people with trucks. So bonuses,
It's a perk.
It is it's a real perk in our nation.
All right.
Bye.
On that note, goodbye.